Yo, what up? How's it going? And welcome back for another video. We are on game number 4 of the LCK Summer Split Finals, Griffin versus SKT. Let's do this. Obviously, we know the outcome to this game, but I do not know the outcome. I mean, I don't know what happens in the game, right? So this is going to be awesome. Let's see if SKT actually goes back to their drafting strengths. I think they were kind of limit testing in game number 3. Let's see if they actually go back to their strengths. It is SKT back on blue side, so that's pretty interesting. But before I say anything about the draft, let's actually dive into it. All right, let's get into the draft. Let's go. Okay, now we're in the draft. We're going to watch this at normal speed. I got to turn the audio back off. And it's SKT back on blue side. So this entire series we've been on blue side. So SKT has been selecting blue side. All the series previous to this, they've been picking red side. So it must be specifically for this matchup. And I just say after game 1, they're so happy with just getting the Akali and then taking the Renekton. So it's really interesting. It is interesting they selected blue side again after losing last game. But I really think they're kind of testing some draft stuff by early picking the Aatrox. But I think they'll prioritize getting something like a Renekton early in the draft. And let's see if Griffin actually is going to let over the Akali once again. All right, same band so far. So normally they were doing LeBlanc first band because Faker showed his LeBlanc earlier in the playoffs. So let's see. I've been thinking the LeBlanc's band's kind of weird. CV Max got some guns on him, boy. Let's see what we ban right here. Ezreal. Okay, Ezreal's been an important ban. So they're probably dropping the LeBlanc ban and then taking the Ezreal right here. So it'll be really interesting if SKT actually, maybe if he just first picks Renekton, lets them have the Akali and takes the LeBlanc, who has a pretty good matchup into the Akali. That'll be interesting if that actually happens, but I would imagine SKT just takes the Akali if it's open. Let's see what the final ban is. These are the same bans SKT's been doing all series. Renekton. Okay, so a lot of adaptation here. So the Renekton, I think, is a very good ban. Honestly, I mean, I think it's good because SKT wants it, but honestly, what you could do is they're going to first pick Akali, but maybe they don't. Maybe they first pick. You are pinching yourself a little bit because I think Griffin actually really pinched himself. Because if you ban out, if you ban the Akali, then they're going to take Renekton. If you ban out, they really just honestly probably need to ban LeBlanc there if they're actually scared of the LeBlanc pick. Because if you ban out the Akali, I don't know, it's tough. It seems like you probably just ban LeBlanc there and you just take the Renekton into wherever Akali goes, or just, you get a positive matchup. It seems like you just take the Renekton. They might just be prioritizing getting a good bottom lane matchup. I don't know. They're really pinched in the draft here because if you ban, I don't know. It's tough because if you think SKT is prioritizing the Renekton, then you ban the Renekton, and SKT could just, if they wanted to, give you the Akali and take the LeBlanc if you're actually scared of the LeBlanc. But I think the Akali is just so great. So I think it's tough leaving the Akali open. You have to think Griffin probably answers with the Sylas, but might just be wanting a good bot lane. They banned out the Ezreal. So they might just go Zyra Khan here, right? The good matchup in the Zyra Khan is Ezreal Tahm Kench, Caitlyn Morgana. Be really spicy if they go Caitlyn Morgana, but I don't think that's what SKT is going to go for. I think they really want Teddy to play weak side and then have strong top and mid with jungle synergy. Wow, going for the Aatrox super. That's why the Renekton ban came out there. I think that is so punishable. In this series especially, I think this is so punishable. I'm not a big fan of early pick Aatrox. Wow, you're just giving... And you take Kai'Sa. So imagine if SKT take Tahm Kench. What if they just take Tahm Kench Camille here? Chovy does play Aatrox, so that might be a flex. But also Akali's a flex. What if you just took Tahm Kench and a lane counter already? But there's so many lane counters that are still open that you probably won't even get banned out. So I think you just take. You can take Zyra Khan here, actually. What the hell? There's so many things for SKT to take. You could take Zyra Khan, you could take Zaya Tom Kench. If you get Kench and you get the you have superior 1-3-1 setup. They're really thinking about it, I think. I mean, they're also taking their time so they get time to think about the other picks. Okay, they do like to take Zyra Khan, so maybe the Tom Kench here. Volibear would be interesting. Volibear can interrupt the Rakan Grand Entrance. As soon as he lands, you can do your Majestic Roar. Nautilus makes a lot more sense. Okay, they're taking the Volibear. So Volibear can interrupt Rakan's dash. I don't know if I'm a big fan of the Volibear pick right there. It does interrupt the Rakan dash, so, but I think it's so hard to kill that bottom lane. No more you pick Volibear as a kill lane. I think it's actually really hard to kill that lane. But you can maybe, it does nullify what Rakan wants to do, so if Rakan goes in, and you can maybe just roar, flip him over your head, and try to one-shot him, but level 6, that is a threatening bottom lane, especially if their Rakan ever goes aggressive. If Rakan ever goes aggressive, you can, roar him, flip him over your head. If he goes back to Zaya, then you can, I keep wanting to say Ultra Instinct, then you can do your thing in. Do your Kai'Sa Ultimate. Killer Instinct. Jesus. Okay, the LeBlanc ban does come out because SKT's shown they're willing to flex the Akali. And Akali, I think Akali actually has an okay matchup in the Aatrox. Sometimes if Aatrox can get his first Q to land in the right spot, then he can start to bully her out with a good trade. But I think it's a decent matchup for Akali. By no means like a bad matchup for Akali, but it's not like one of the super good ones. It's fine. Can be oppressive sometimes. Sourspin comes out. That makes some sense. I guess they just don't want to pick it themselves because you could just get it with the pick right here and flex it between jungle and mid. So I guess they just don't want Sylas. The Karthus ban comes out. They're just making sure they don't get cheesed by the reason why they ban Karthus there is they're scared of the Aatrox getting flexed in the mid lane. Then you can actually run an Aatrox because you'll have the when you run Aatrox, when you run Karthus, you want to have a lot of AD damage. So and Chovy plays Aatrox, so you could flex Aatrox mid and then pick another AD top laner, and then you could have good setup. All right, what if Griffin went for the Yasuo right now, and you're getting the setup with the Volibear, Aatrox, and Sejuani? Be interesting. All right, if the Trundle gets picked right here, Trundle has is a counter matchup to Sejuani. You just become a super tank and make Sejuani a little pig. Also, in the early game, you clear a lot quicker, get around the map a little bit faster. So. In your pillar interactions, you can deny Volibear engage a lot of the times. The other champions, you have the ability to get around it. Okay, and the Azir's picked right here. All right, let's wait till the last pick is picked. So Azir is just a really safe blind because they haven't shown mid laner. So also, this makes your sieging potential really good. This is interesting. So the teams are prioritizing 1-3-1 so much, but with the Ezreal ban out of here, and nobody picking Tom Kench, nobody's going for 1-3-1. Okay, now I need to see where the lanes go. Alright, so this most likely will be an AP Kai'Sa build, you would imagine, right? Okay, we're going to actually have to wait for the clock to tick down because this could totally still be moved around. Okay, let's see. Okay, cool. Alrighty, the team comps are set. Okay, so no matter how you move this around, Aatrox is going to have a bad matchup. I mean, into Akali, it's actually pretty okay. It's pretty fine. But going to have a difficult time against the Azir. Alright, let's check this out. Okay, so on SKT side, they have the Akali for Khan. So that is a good matchup. That's going to be, an outrange matchup for the Jace. You do have a lot of kill threats after. You have a kill threat on the Akali at 6, so Akali's just going to have to, suffer for a little bit. Then you have kill threat at 6, and Jace doesn't have a way to get around the pillar. So if you get some combos with the Trundle, this game's going to cut along a lot around to the jungle. We'll talk more about that in a second. So you have the Azir, which is going to be priority mid. So you're going to be lacking priority top lane for SKT. It's a losing matchup in the early game, but then you have kill threat at 6, especially with the jungle combo. So they should have, but SKT should have prio mid and prio bottom lane. You have the winning bottom lane matchup. But the thing about the Volibear into the Zyra Rakan is that you can deny the Rakan engage, but you can also deny the Rakan return. So if Rakan goes in on your AD carry, and you go over there and you flip him, and then when he tries to go back, you roar him. So the Volibear is mainly picked to deny Rakan from being aggressive, and Rakan gets too aggressive, and Volibear has flash up, then he flashes, flips you over his head, and then roars you. And doesn't allow you to actually get back to Xayah, and you kill. And if he does somehow get back and flash out, you kill her instant kin. So it's kind of a nullifying lane in terms of it's hard for Rakan to play aggressive in this lane, but you should be able to still get prio in that lane. So Tarzan has great gank setup with everybody. It is so hard to kill Azir, so it's unlikely you're going to be able to kill Azir, and Azir is able to manage the wave, and he has exhaust to make sure that he doesn't die. So it should be pretty difficult to do that. You do have some gank setup with Jace. You have the melee combo. He can flash jump in and hit him and already get 2 stacks onto the Sejuani passive. So there is that setup, and maybe could potentially look for a dive in the early game. It is difficult to dive the Akali, but if you're able to chip him down, build up a wave, and level 2 you dive Akali, that's not a bad idea. Or at least get caught off the wave. So that's an option in the early game for them. But really, both teams have teamfight compositions. SKT and Griffin both have the ability to play in the side lanes, right? They have the Jace, they have the Akali. But this is really all about the team fights with this team. Both teams have decent scaling, and this is really going to come down to, the early game is going to be, dominant by the junglers, trying to figure out what that is. They do have the Trundle, who has the early game matchup into the Sejuani. Sejuani can never be where Trundle is, and it's not like Sejuani has some great 2v2 options because the Trundle just wins so hard. You would imagine that in the early levels, if Sejuani can make plays around topside, it would be difficult for Trundle to answer. But it's really the early game is gonna come around a lot to the junglers, like it does in most games. Then we'll see these mid game fights, and if Griffin's mid game team fighting is able to happen. Also really depend a lot on what Kai'Sa's build. If she goes for the Muramana build, then she will not be able to fight in the mid game, where Griffin's team comp kind of excels. In the later game, it does get kind of dicey for Griffin's composition if the Volibear isn't able to get good engages, the Volibear isn't able to do good follow-ups, because then you're just Volibear and you're just walking around. Right, that's the problem with Volibear, is he literally just walks around in the late game. So if this game goes late, you'd really have to favor SKT. So if we get to an even mid game and SKT win that mid game team fight, then it would be very difficult for Griffin to get in the game unless Doran is just huge on the Jace. So let's just get right into it, man. Let's go. Let's get this bread, gamers. All right, here we are. All right, let's watch the junglers. Let's break this down. I'm ready to see what happens. Both team comps are very winnable. This isn't like a really mismatched game where one team has a really strong win condition and the enemy team doesn't have a very good way of answering it. This is a very, like we're just going to play the game and see who plays better. Both comps have some strengths. Both comps have some weaknesses. It's all just about how we play. Okay, so we do have River Vision right here. So this is to disincentivize vertical jungling, or if Trundle wants the vertical jungle, at least you have the knowledge, so you can do it yourself. So that's the idea. Since Doran's gonna have priority top side and Zyra Rakan's gonna have priority bottom side, the way Zyra Rakan are playing may suggest that Trundle may look for a vertical jungle, but instead Trundle's just going to go top side instead. Could have maybe looked for vertical jungle if he wanted to. It's a queer that Quid really likes to go. He likes to go red, Krugs, then blue, then blue, then Grom. Okay, Quid did actually go Predator, which is kind of the flavor of the month for Trundle players nowadays. So it does make your ganking a lot better. You just kind of guarantees you get to actually put the pillar down. I'm a big fan of it. Okay, they do just trade sides in the map right now, so that's why SKT's bottom lane is playing so defensively at the moment. Looking for a play bottom. I think it's really hard to do. Yeah, it's really hard to make that play happen. Oh, Teddy went for full defensive. Oh, they went full defensive summoners in the bottom lane. Both have combat summoners. But they went full defensive. That's not bad for them to go full defensive because, as I said, the way the Volibear works in this lane, you'll never have the ability for Rakan to play super aggressive. Rakan just plays peel duty in this lane. So that makes a lot of sense. So, but that should tell Tarzan that you're never going to kill that bottom lane. But if you pressure them out enough, he doesn't have TP, so there's that. But neither does Viper. Okay, now Trundle got his second Krugs. He's got, oh, he hasn't backed yet. Okay, Quid went for an interesting queer. He just went path towards top side, got top scuttle, and then got his Krugs, got his second Krugs all on one life. So Sejuani does have a little bit of a tempo advantage since Quid didn't recall to do that, but it makes it to where he has his Predator boots and his oh, neither did Tarzan. They both did very similar queers, I just realized. So actually, Quid has a tempo advantage because he actually has items. And he passed straight toward top side. Can possibly look for a play here. It's going to be difficult. He's just looking to try to get a flash maybe. And since he already did his Predator, this is also kind of a shadowing gank because he doesn't know what path Tarzan went. And Tarzan has very good synergy around his top side. And since SKT went such a defensive bottom side, the only threat for Tarzan to play around is going to be actually going to be top lane. You get a pink down on the Infernal. Trundle has very good Dragon Clear, and as well as SKT is the priority bottom lane, so it makes sense to try to get vision control around this bottom river. Also, they have prio mid, so it definitely looks like SKT has a very easy way to make a play around this. It is a good job. We clear out vision right there as SKT. It's going to be very important once the Scuttle Crab despawns because SKT have a lot of threat onto this Infernal. They got really lucky with the Dragon RNG because they do have the whole full priority bottom side. I didn't talk about that in draft. I should have talked about that more. That's why they're being so that's why Griffin is being so careful about having vision. Alright, did Lahin's flash there, or was that a Hex flash? It was an actual flash. You do have gank set up with this bottom lane every time Lahin's has flash, but it is so hard. Because you can only, if effort, as long as effort doesn't grant entrance, you can only interrupt one of his dashes. He doesn't interrupt either. He uses his roar way too early. You need to flip him, let him try to do his dash, and then roar. Way you play that. And at the same time, we're getting a cross back by top side. Oh, and Tragedy is gonna strike on the Rift if he gets this kill. Oh, okay. Ooh, the Maw almost saved him. I mean, or the Hex Shrinker. Wait, how did Sejuani get up there? What? Oh, he has Spellbook. Wow, I did not even. I was like, wait, how the fuck did Sejuani get up there? Wow, he has Spellbook. Okay, Spellbook is so cool. All right, so the reason why he took Spellbook in this matchup. Wow, I should have talked about that earlier. Wow, I'm an idiot. The reason why he took Spellbook in this matchup is because the Trundle interaction. So Trundle lets you get Aftershock and then he ults you. So you don't need actually taking Aftershock just buffs the enemy team. Wow, that is so cool, actually. Spellbook is so good on a jungle, though. Jungle too, because you can get aggressive summoners. You can take TP like that. Your smite comes up quicker. Spellbook is actually so cool on junglers. especially specifically for this matchup, it was a really smart idea. Wow, I'm such an idiot. Didn't even pay attention. I was like, wait, how the fuck did Sejuani get up there? Ooh, okay. They got Chovy's flash. Faker's flash was down. That's very important. Because if Chovy still has his flash and Faker doesn't have his flash. See, he roared way too early. Oh. You need a roar to deny all the jump. He's like, nice hair, nice hair, nice hair. Nice. Alright, now you'd like to see SKT get some prior in their lanes and try to get vision control around this objective so they can actually take it. Griffin's doing a really good job of stopping that though. Nice, Lens doesn't have flash. And then as soon as Rakan gets ultimate, that's a dead bear. Now this is a free Infernal Drake. Alright, cool. As I said, we need to find a way to get this. You don't have flash on your bear, and then you get level 6 on Rakan, it's free kill. Oh no. Okay, let's see. Well, how did this happen? Okay, they're possibly looking for a dive on Kaisa is what's happening. They're thinking about it. But then they see Volibear come in, and actually the dive isn't doable anymore. So they're like, okay, we'll just kill Volibear. Oh, tragedy strikes on the Rift. They thought they had reset, but they had not. SKT was looking for that second play. Nice. Playing some mind games. Doing the unexpected. Keeping the tempo alive. People think SKT plays slow, but they've ramped it up in the playoffs. People don't watch LCK and just hear what people say about LCK are going to be in for a world of hurt at Worlds. This is like the strongest Worlds lineup that maybe Korea's ever had. People are going to be for a rude awakening at Worlds. If they think LCK teams don't play the early game. Boom. Kills him like Tommy Bahama. Alright. Boom. Bear's dead. Man, I can't wait for Worlds. One, I just want to watch Worlds, and then also I can't wait for SKT and Griffin just to destroy people in groups. Can't wait for it. The group of death probably is like G2, Griffin, IG. I mean, IG hasn't been playing so well, but they ran the gauntlet, and IG is always scary. And like Cloud9. Honestly, that would be like that would be the group of death. Like, oh fuck. The team that gets seated in there. When Cloud9 got grouped with RNG and they made it through, so big yikes. Okay, let's talk about the game actually. So SKT just moved their bottom lane top side to get this objective. That's what you do when you move your priority side to the next neutral. That's what you do in the early game. So okay, Griffin's making a TP play here. Khan is waiting in base with TP, so he can TP right here or TP right here. So let's see what actually happens. Or he can TP in here. So Effort is ulting, and he's going in. Okay, he flashed in first. Okay, Khan TP'd up here, so he TP'd to collapse behind them. But now Doran, you would have to imagine, I don't know if he used his Shock Blast yet. Oh, he does get pillared. And Faker is basically trying to zone these guys over here. So this is a great fight setup by SKT. So they get up here. Is that a TP or a death? What is that? That's a death. Okay, I couldn't tell what that was. So they they basically were laying a trap. So they got Rift Herald and they're pushing in for. Did they actually get the last one on Rift Herald? Let's see. Yeah, they did. Okay. So they were setting a trap while Faker just zoned out the enemies. Nice. That was really well played. Faker was getting. So what happened is Faker was getting prio mid, and then he saw Tarzan, And then Chovy were reacting by coming over to reacting to the play. Griffin were coming in over here, but they don't have vision on this. And then there's also a minion wave that's right here. And then Khan's waiting in base with TP. They don't know where Khan is. So they actually had no business fighting over this, and SKT just laid a trap and then collapsed on it. And tragedy strikes on the Rift. As I said before the game started, it's very important who wins this early to mid game fight, right? SKT are in such a good position and a comp that they can definitely close out the game with. A comp that scales better too. So they're just getting chip damage. It's after 14 minutes. So you don't give a fuck what that Rift Herald does. You just want it to get some damage on a tower. We have this trap that was laid. Look at Faker just zoning off the 2 melee members over here. So Tarzan, and basically it was a 4v3, and you had and you already had like the map, like the positioning advantage, not the map advantage. Okay, and now SKT, RNG of the gods. Oh, the Infernal's up. They're already stronger at the moment. Okay. All right. Okay. Nope. Okay. Getting a little bit risque. Okay. Yep. Man. Griffin were just trying to come in and get some vision. But SKT already had vision denial on the around the objective in some spots. Ay. And now you got to think this game is like, just if this was like an NA game or you know, any EU team that isn't Fnatic or G2, you'd have to think this is, you know, obviously SKT's in a big advantage, but there's still options being this game. There's a third Infernal spawning, and SKT has a massive lead. You got to think this game is over. Like, surely this game is donezo. I mean, I know SKT wins, but this game is pretty donezo at this point. It is so hard for, like, their options are, and Griffin's options are so limited. They picked an early game. They picked really an early and mid game comp. Okay, they do get a pick on the Trundle, but does it amount to anything? I mean, it's nice to get, but there's no objective to capitalize by killing the jungler. So that kill doesn't actually mean anything other than a little bit of gold. I believe Sejuani got the kill anyways. So really their ways into the game is SKT making a mistake and Griffin capitalizing on it. Is this a replay? Oh, it just looked like a replay. Okay. Alright, they just trade ults there. Okay. Well, they get the kill. And if SKT gets a kill, it does mean something because they can actually capitalize on it. So they're going to trade for top tower, but that trade is fine for SKT. You take tier 2 mid for tier 1 top, you don't care. It does make it to where if they take tier 1 top, it does make it to where Griffin does have an ability to actually walk into the river if they get the wave cleared because they have taken that tower and they still have their structure up. So that does give them some river access, but SKT could just respond by forcing topside if they wanted to, but that key Infernal is coming up in 50 seconds. You would have to imagine they don't do that. You have to imagine they take, they just get control around this Infernal Drake. They take the Infernal Drake. It's so hard for Griffin to respond. They don't have a lot of Baron threat. They could maybe try to respond by just threatening a Baron, but it's difficult. It's tough. All right, they're just going to collapse on the Chovy. After they kill Chovy, they're just going to come back onto the Infernal. Teddy's just going to get it. Okay. They get a dive onto Faker. All right. SKT's responding. See, Griffin got to try to make plays like this, but SKT is just great at responding. And now they're just going to go right onto the Baron. So instead of getting that Infernal, they actually lose Baron. As I said, this game is so over. They take this, they can base and grab the Infernal, or they can just walk straight over. Oh my gosh, and they get a fight win after they're already chunked. So Griffin can try to just run over to the Infernal to try to get it before SKT's back on the map, but Faker's going to chunk Chovy right now. They might just try to force it. They're really just trying to deny it. It doesn't do anything for them. Just zooming in on Quid. Oh my gosh, this game is so over. Triple Infernal, dude. Triple Infernal. Oh, and SKT have a late game comp. Ah, bro. This is the most over I've ever seen a game at 23 minutes. Not really. But this game is... Now bear in mind, if this was TSM with this gold lead right now, I'd still say Griffin got a chance. Oh man, it's so hard to collapse. I mean, those are the plays Griffin has to look for. Okay, hey, just looking at itemization, Viper did go for the more early game itemization that I thought he would go for, that I thought would be good for their comp if they were going to be able to snowball. But since they didn't snowball, it's actually, not going to be aiding him very much. Yeah, and there's so much gold on the top side. That's why they're going top side. They got bottom inhibitor, which is the one you want with your Baron push, but they're just going top side because that gives them the most gold. That's what they're doing right now. And Khan just able to stand mid and keep them from getting it with the Baron minions. That's a 4K Baron power boy if I've ever seen one. But now they have supers in bottom, so SKT might just look to try to force a fight and finish here. If not, they just get inhibitor. But I would imagine, just knowing SKT, they might try to force a fight once that bot wave crashes. Okay. All right, looks like they're just going to look for a reset. Getting bot supers guarantees that you're going to get Baron, essentially, when you're this far ahead. The only, caveats is that Viper does get to collect these waves, whereas Teddy doesn't, but doesn't matter. No. Now this is just a victory lap. Here we go. Okay. Alright, there's the power of the Azir. We get the Sun Turret there. Lehens is looking for a flank. He's doing his best Ignore impression, only looking for flanks, but there's just no play to make here. Alright, SKT, go get the ocean. No, I'm just kidding. They might force an end here. If they don't force an end, the safe play, just like, alright, let's just win the finals. Go take the Baron. But, alright, we are getting a fight here. Griffin is forcing a fight here. Griffin have to force a fight there, by the way. If they let SKT leave, SKT gets Baron and they end the game in their face. So they had to make that play. And that is GG. That is victory. That is SKT winning the series. Giving good hugs. Look at effort. He won it for him. Good job, effort. Nah, Quid is definitely MVP. Quid is so good, dude. Mata comes out and he's like, yay, we did it. We did it, team. Griffin's like, why do we get first every regular season and win and lose every single final? Hey, I will say Griffin played a lot better in this final than they played in the last one. And feels bad for Griffin. Oh, yeah. Look at CV Max. He's over there. Look at Faker. Look at the king. Look at him. So much beauty, so much grace. I want to see them shake hands. Am I going to shake hands? I just want to see that. Oh. They never shook hands. That was so weird. Okay, that's all I was looking for. Look at Teddy. He's like, yeah, bro, we first see the Worlds. Let's do this. Okay, anyways, cool. We're going to end this video. I don't want this video to be too long. Yo, alright. I'm so happy I finally saw this series. ×2 speed with no dialogue, but you get me for dialogue, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure if you're watching this, you've probably already seen the series, or you haven't, and you wanted to see it broken down before these teams go to Worlds. But thank you for going on this journey with me. This is my favorite league to watch anyway, so I'm so happy we finally got to this. I've been putting this off for like a month, so I don't know why I put things off, but I do because I don't know what's wrong with me. But hey, thanks so much for watching. We're going to make this happen. We're going to do more VOD reviews. We're going to do more VOD review streams. Stick around for that shit. I know nobody's here watching me live right now. I did have somebody come in a minute ago, but if you're watching this video, you're the real MVP. And I'll see you on the next one. That's it for me. Bye-bye. Bye.